Who says you can't? You do. Daniel Sidiak. Chapter 1. Absolute Power of Question. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. Albert Einstein. Great quotations, great answers, regardless of your age. If you are ready, then you are always ready for change. It might be in relationship, a career, an old habit, an anger issue, or something that is really affecting your life. I want you to choose an issue and ask yourself, everything I have come to know in the last 18, 22 to 45 or 65 years, what impact has it had in this particular area of my life? Am I happy where I am? Have I attained fulfillment? Do I feel lost and confused? Now think back to how many times you have asked yourself those same questions. Do you see a pattern in your previous answers and your current ones? Unfortunately, most continue on a circular train track their whole life and are never able to implement real change. First, they don't build a belief in change, instead reminding themselves of why they think they can't change. And second, some people just don't know how to approach it. We are always gathering knowledge in life, but learning requires rapid action. You could watch someone change a car tire 20 times over, but unless you get down and do it, your knowledge is never tested and you never learn. It seems a lot of us believe telling we are taking appropriate action, yet still feel as if we have failed. This is what we must direct that energy in a way that is going to be effective and implement lasting change. A lot of us have absorbed a lesson that if we change, then we are not being true to ourselves. Even our friends will have a disattach and say things like you have changed in a hurtful tone. This stance overlooks two truths. Change is extremely powerful and more important, it is inevitable. Nothing remains the same. Every new moment you are a new person. Even physically, not even single cell in your body has remained the same since you were born. This means we are always becoming. But what you are becoming depends on you. The challenge is that most people are not becoming what they want. Something must change in order to grow, right? I am, whether it is financially, physically, emotionally, or mentally, the same rule applies. Proper questioning is the basis for directing change toward our immediate growth. It allows us to broaden the way we think and stop being narrow-minded, dismissing the false belief that there is only one option. Maybe you are asking yourself questions, but they are disempowering ones and they are creating the same experience. Stay away from such questions. Why can't I do that? Am I so unlucky? Why does this always happen to me? Why are all girls or guys the same? All people with money have screwed someone over to get there, right? Why can't I enjoy life like others? Why am I the only one faced with so many challenges in life? When you change the way you think, you change the way you feel. When you change the way you feel, you change the way you act. When you change the way you act, you change your life. It starts by changing the way you. Who am I? This is question. An unquestioned mind is the word of suffering. Byron Katie. We need to ask questions that spur growth and prevent us from feeling as if we are insignificant and worthless. It's very important to ask and reflect on the question, who am I? Before anything else, this may seem a daunting question at first. However, proving deeper will unravel the truth. Not fully acknowledging the answer may cloud what you really want and deter you from ever experiencing greatness in life. Ask what type of person you are deep down, regardless of decisions you may have made in the past. A few times in my life, I have had people ask me, who are you? But it was not until I came to peace with the answer myself that I answered it with certainty. Here are some questions that you can ask yourself to begin the process of self reflection. These are questions I ask myself. But remember that everyone has moments when they fail to express their true character. For example, don't fixate on one time when you were mean and selfish. If you know you are a loving person deep down, take a few seconds to think as you go through each question. Am I a loving person? Am I respectful? Am I compassionate? Am I generous and sharing? Am I honest? Am I grateful? After going to those questions, did your mind automatically begin to remind you of times that you were not that person? If that was the case, it's because your mind is still conditioned to looking at experiences and especially yourself in the worst possible way. If you're human, then I am sure there have been times in your life when these positive attributes have not been displayed. I am definitely guilty of that, but it does not alter the fact that you are not that person deep down. Realistically, if you were doomed by every choice you made in life, you would not even be reading this right now. So don't deliberately remember the times you fell short. Be intelligent and focus on the times you did display these qualities. Now run through the questions again, but in addition, ask this: when was a time that I did display this quality? After you do, come back and read on. The more you focus on being that great person, the more invigorated and energetic you feel. Did you feel proud of yourself when you went back to that moment? How did it compare with focusing on not being that person? Reminding yourself of these essential values to gain fulfillment will give you incentive to use them more often. If you truly don't think you are that great person, ask yourself, how can I be? And you will instantly be flooded with ideas. Further to that, if you don't want to be that great person, then unfortunately, that's the reason you are unfulfilled in the first place. Never experiencing the true essence of life, in my opinion, that is a very sad life to live, and one I would not accept for all the money in the world. The challenge is not knowing who you are as a person. It's having the courage to act like the person you are. It seems that we are almost separated into two parts. One part is the me and the other is the I. The me is all the social tags we adopt. For example, it is my duty to be a friend, a son, a brother, an author, and so on. It so happens that I am all these things, but barely enough when I am all alone and away from these duties. I find myself not being any of them. That's when I finally discover that the I is who I really am. It's those qualities within me, that diversity and the ability to be everything and at times nothing. There are also times when you will feel alienated from the world, and that's because people won't always understand the I. But they don't have to, you do. It's not until you are aligned with who you really are as a person, not who society brands you, that you will externally happy and live passionately every moment. I have experienced this personally. The outside pressure to be something in particular, to choose an identity and stick to it, created an expectation of myself that only made me feel worse. Every time I was sad, I was disappointed in myself because I thought I had to be happy. When I was weak, I thought I always had to be strong. When vulnerable, always secure. I had to finally accept that I am human and that it's okay to be different at different stages of my life. To feel differently, to think differently, to act differently. But the greatest thing I realized about being who I was is that I am human, and being human, I have these amazing qualities within me at my disposal. That's what I built on. Knowing that my great qualities could shape my life just as much as my bad ones that I used to focus so much on. I invited you to do the next task, which is life transforming. Take 5 minutes and really reflect on those. Am I questions? Make sure you don't rob yourself of this opportunity. And these are life changing exercises. Write these down. Do not go to task 2 until you have completed this one. Now swap the am and the I around. It should now read I am, followed by the quality. Write them down. Next, take another few minutes and reflect on the new list you have written down. Close your eyes and repeat them in your mind or say them out loud. Just make sure all your focus is on those qualities that have the power to change your life. It's usually not being sure of who we are that causes so much confusion when it's time to make a big decision. This creates clarity. If you are in a public place and you don't really want to scream how great you are, I suggest you do it in your mind for now. And don't forget to focus on how you feel when you read each I am statement. FFF, full focus on feeling. I don't even need to know you to know that you are a big softy deep down. By reaffirming those as statements, you align yourself with who you really are. It's very important key to finding happiness or success at any level. If completed correctly, that exercise is invigorating and fulfilling. See how easy it is to fill ourselves up once we focus all our energy on the qualities of life. That exercise can be done for any issue that you are facing to gain a clear consciousness, and I highly advise you do it on a daily basis for a while, especially when you wake up. I would never suggest something here that I don't personally do or use for others. I have used this on some of the most successful and fulfilled people I know, and it adds massive value to their life. The qualities mentioned above are just some examples. I'm sure you can think of more. You must start with I am, followed by a quality. Now that you covered some qualities that reflect who you really are, it allows you to properly assess decisions you make on constant basis. I have also come to the conclusion that all human beings have the same true essence, regardless of religious background, social status, or past decisions. I have spoken to people from all walks of life, even some hardened criminals, and never had anyone refuse, after enough proving, to finally admit that they are all those great qualities deep down. We are human, and such qualities have been in us since birth. That's why babies bring so much joy to the people around them. Like when you go to someone's house and everyone runs up to the baby. We nearly get into arguments over who going to hold it first. It's amazing, and that's because babies just are who they are, pure love. They have not been restricted by social myth, and ego has yet to take control over their life. You must understand that your truth will never go away and will always be there to correct you when you feel otherwise. It is also accessible for growth and learning. Hence, we can relate who we really are to any situation and any decision. I must ask you this question. Are you really being who you know you are? Nearly everyone I have asked has become defensive and answered with, "Of course I am." In my own experience, most times we are acting how we think we have to, not the way we truly want to. We think about what others are thinking about us. What are they going to think when I do this? What are they looking at? What makes them laugh? How do I have to be to fit in? What can I do to impress them? We have thoughts like, oh my god, they are all looking at me. Straighten up. No, don't look down, look up, look cool, and so on. We do this when we walk down the street, go for a run, visit the beach, or socialize. It's usually a subconscious reaction because we have repeated it throughout our life. If you say that you don't care about what others think or the effect they have on your life, that is an outright lie. If you didn't care that what others thought, you would be walking around the streets naked. And I know I am not alone with drifting off at some points and wondering what my funerals would be like. Come on, tell me that has not crossed your mind. What would people say about me? Would they cry? Would I be missed? How would they remember me? It's human nature to care what other people think. It's obvious that people are going to remember whatever legacy we leave behind. In order to leave a legacy, we must be our legacy now. The greatest legacy we can leave behind is to be who we really are. Doing this allows you to the destiny to be displayed. If you don't know who you are, how can you make yourself happy? So are we being who we really are or who we feel we have to be? It's a fine line, but with a bit of thought, you will be able to distinguish between the two. Finding this distinction allows progress to soar. People will remember who you are, not what you have. Keep on proving. Each man is questioned by life, and he can only answer to life by answering for his own life. To life, he can only respond by being responsible. Viktor Frankl. Other important questions arise about decisions you are making in life. You must be able to identify other options in order to change an old habit. Asking questions, then more probing questions until you reach an answer that is beneficial is the key. Do not just stop at one, but ask yourself as many as you have to. In the beginning of my change, I began questioning everything about my life. I remember my friend asked me once if I was lost because I was walking around the house in a daze. I said I am actually finding answers, which is the opposite of being lost. Initially, you might feel a bit uncomfortable with some answers because your ego tries to stand in the way of getting the real truth out. Ask as many questions as you have to. You must ask questions that will help you. It's easy to tell a lie, but it feels like hell to live on. You will know when you are lying to yourself because the answer will not satisfy you and you will feel unfulfilled. This now leads us to our next set of questions, keeping in mind that you should definitely add to the list. Does a loving person really judge others? Do I respect myself enough to make change? Do the things that I am doing now reflect the real person I am? Am I truthful to myself when a certain situation arises? When things seem distorted, am I grateful to be alive and to have the opportunity to persist again? Do I allocate some time for me, even if it's 15 minutes a day, to really focus on how to improve my life? Do I usually focus on the worst in life rather than the best things about it? When I was taking drugs every day for 3 years, I built some distorted beliefs around the whole concept. I tried to make myself believe that drugs contributed to my happiness and that it was a way to socialize. Obviously, that's not the truth. But I would refuse to probe deeper in order to get the real answer. I did this because I thought I found comfort in doing it. In a way, I did for that brief moment, but that was only because it made me think the world, as I did come to know it, was still intact. Along with the fear of going into the unknown, I also had not come to the understanding that the world only seemed the way it did because I had made it that way. I did not allow myself to see the truth until I went through a deep process of questioning. I began to ask myself, does taking drugs really make me happy? I would answer with maybe. It was still not a stable answer. So I asked again if it makes me happy for a couple of hours, but I hate the rest of the week. If the real, if is that really happiness? No. Then another one is taking drugs stopping me from getting what I really want out of life. I want to achieve. I want a great relationship and I want to be healthy. So yes, it's preventing me from ever getting those things. Is it really socializing when I am destroying my whole life in the process? No. What can I do instead? I want to build a better relationship with my family so I could start hanging out with them. That's what I did. I started spending more time with my family and I loved it. I applied the same process to my relationship, people I knew, situations I would put myself into, and my job. I questioned everything about my life and I would always refer back to who I knew I really was. No area of my life weighed me so I knew I had to start making massive changes. I was now dealing with answers that were going to benefit every step I was taking. Did I go and change everything instantly and my life was just covered with roses? Of course not. The questions kept coming up as they still do today, and as they will until the day I am gone. You must remain strong throughout the process, and you can do this by weighing up your answer, your new beliefs compared with the old lies. It even reaches a point where you should be so disgusted with your old ways that it turns into good frustration. Physically scream at yourself in the mirror if you feel the urge. I would personally repeat again and again that life is destroying you. You are not going back under any circumstances. Do you understand? Yes. Then I would repeat, you are living a better life. You are living a better life. And so forth. Something I highly recommend if you find yourself battling the old habit. Say it with as much power as you can, so it feels like you just got a baseball bat and hit those old beliefs out of the park. Also feel free to tell people about your change. I remember the day I stopped smoking. I went and told as many people as I possibly could. I made myself feel extreme pleasure and pride every time I did. I knew that if I began the habit again, everyone would consider me weak, but more important, I would consider myself weak. I reinforced the belief that if I started smoking again, I would not be successful in life. And every time it came to mind, I began to imagine the chemicals eating away at my body. As a result, the thought would make me nearly physically throw up. It sounds extreme, but when you think of the extreme effects smoking has on your health, it sounds like a pretty good substitute. The question is, how much do you want change? If I told you that you could change the direction of your life so that it would be more fulfilling right now, would you? If answer is yes, then you acknowledge that there are areas of your life that you feel you are personally destroying. No one really wants to destroy their own life. Even though they might be doing just that, does not mean it's what they want. Am I attracting what I want? When most people question, they don't go deep enough. They deliberately ignore the answers that will serve them. We are likely to move on to our next set of questions, which will enable us to clearly see what we want. We need to ask questions that will criticize our thinking, patterns, and the self beliefs we have continually built so we can come up with a strategic plan to implement life changing replacements. If we don't question, we don't get answers, and hence we will not get what we want. The examples below are broad, but as we progress in further tasks, they will become more specific. Do I want to own my own business? Do I want a girl or guy that I would like to spend my life with? Do I want to be healthy and fit? Do I want a better relationship with my family? Now, the next step. What would I have to do to attract a particular person? Would they want to be with someone who had unstable answers in the keep on proving questions we previously went through? Do people achieve when they remind themselves how lazy they are? Can I live a healthy life by flooding my liver with alcohol? Am I affecting my children or family by smoking, which could cause a terminal illness? Is the mindset that I am approaching life with ever going to allow me to make change in my life? Are my experiences and feelings ever going to change if I continue to think, speak, and act the same way? If my answers to some of the questions in the keep on proving section were unstable, how does that impact my ability to get the most out of life? And how does it affect the people I love the most? Don't ask how life is treating you, ask how you are treating life. This shift allows you to see that you are not the victim of an unloved destiny, but equally the creator. You must think of where you are today and say whether you are who you really are. Balances out with what situations you are in. Then you must take sole accountability for all your actions that have caused you to be in the situation, as no one thinks, speaks, or ultimately makes decisions for you. The more we blame our situations on others and external events, the more we remove ourselves from ever experiencing the change we so desperately desire. Once we take responsibility, we are able to determine an action plan to obtain what we really want. Think how it feels as a passenger in a car. You may be on the highway, the car is speeding around bends, and all of a sudden you begin to feel a lack of control. The driver does not know what you are scared of because to them they are driving normally. When you live in excuses, it seems as though everyone and everything else is in control of your life. When you feel that you are not in control, you experience fear. If you are not in the cycle of self-growth, then you are taking part in self-destruction. Taking accountability means owning your life and asking, what can I do differently? You must question everything about your life. Massive change comes through deep questioning, so you must refuse to stop asking questions until an answer aligns with your truth. When you are unsure about something or feeling stressed and worried, you should question until you get to its core. It's okay to take advice from those who clearly demonstrate an ability to have a positive effect on your life, but don't only believe what everyone else has to say. Many friends and family will feed your victimization because they love you. You ultimately know what is best for you, and you can't escape it. Once you take care of you, everyone else reaps the benefit as well. It takes one moment to change your course of direction, one decision that makes you step up to the greatness you deserve, and only one life to make it happen. Questions for solutions. When I tell people that a few years before this book was released, I was smoking dope in back streets all night with no sense of direction, you could only imagine their reaction. Things can change. I'm not saying overnight. But when you commit to building something positive, it does not matter how long it takes. And believe me, it has not been a smooth ride since my awakening. That was only the beginning. I remember just as I was about to finish the main content of the book, I had to find an editor. Nearly everyone I spoke to rejected me. They would not even take my money. I was told that I would pick a different career, that the only thing going for the book was its title. When I got off the phone with the last editor, I broke down. I cried. I just been working on this book for 3 years, and I had some of the best editors tell me to give up on it. I left my phone at home and went to the park near my house. I was so emotional that I literally sprinted up and down until I threw up. I didn't know what else to do. When I got home, something changed again. I knew a new power came over me. No one was going to change what I knew. My writing was my deepest expression, and I knew people would connect with it on that basis. My intention was pure. I did not want to release a book so I could have some credentials to go and do talks, to say I am an author, or to generate money. None of that. My book was my awakening. It was my soul's message. I took their criticism positively and restructured the whole book in 1 week. A few years after they told me I should give up, the book has been a #1 bestseller on Amazon in the US, Australia, UK, France, Italy, Germany, Canada, and even China in the spiritual, motivational, and mentoring and coaching category. I now get thousands of emails from people all around the world telling me their story. It was even picked up by the biggest publisher in the world, Penguin Random House, through their imprint Harmony. That's the edition you are reading right now. In no way am I saying this to toot my own horn. I am saying it in the hope that you will realize the enormity of human capacity, which can change your own life. Never give up on what you truly desire. A lot of people have asked me, what were the fundamental aspects of your change? My answer was that I relentlessly committed to answering the following 5 questions. Obviously, it does not stop there, as there is a lot more to changing your life, but these have the power to alter its direction in an instant. As you go through each of these questions, focus on them individually for a few moments. Don't rush, but really focus on finding answers. They are life changing. What drives you every day? What is the basis of your decision? What are you going to do today that was different from yesterday, which will ultimately shape who you are tomorrow? Third, what are the life changing decisions you are committed to making today that will produce the results you so desperately want? What's at least one thing that you can change about your life right now that will prevent a lifetime of pain and generate a never-ending supply of pleasure? If you don't think you really have a clear indication of what the answers are, think harder and implement some now. You must be specific for the first question. Examples would be wanting to give your children the best life you possibly can, wanting to be the best person you know how to be, having that feeling of being in charge of your life, contributing to others, having that feeling of success, feeling healthy and fit, holding up that trophy, and many more. Those feelings must drive you because emotion precedes action. If you refer back to those feelings, you will soon get a whole different range of emotions on which to base your decisions. This is the fifth question where great solutions are based. How can I be healthy and fit? Attract that person of my dreams. Get that rush in life. Experience different emotions. Push myself that extra mile, get that car. Take control over my life. When the question, how can I, is asked, it allows us to broaden our options. Inspiration is noticed everywhere, even in places that would once seem to be normal daily activities, like going for a walk, shopping at the mall, or driving to work. In an amazing way, science began jumping out everywhere. It does not mean they were never there, but now your mind is subject to taking notice of them. You have enlarged the picture frame, so it increases the space for more pictures. The solutions may not be perfect instantly, but by asking this question, you will continue to come up with a diverse answers, all successful, People dedicated their life to finding solutions. This one question allows for responses that will benefit your current situation rather than asking, why can't I? A question that continually reaffirms to yourself that you can't create the life you desire. How can I focus? Forces you to come up with answers that will drive you. Let's now take a step into the zone that most of us find ourselves in, especially after a deep process of questioning. Being able to shift our mindset in a heartbeat when in this zone is essential for creating a life worth dreaming about. Thank you very much. Have a nice day.